Good times.
Yeah.
Anyways, do we start recording?
Yes, we did.
Okay, so what is our introduction again? We have this conversation every time.
We do.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Suicidal Cinefiles. I'm Linda. And you're Ren.
I am. I think.
You're rolling your eyes at me.
I think I still am. Not sure after yesterday.
We're a bit, literally still suffering the side effects of what we watched yesterday.
Yeah.
Went to see Transformers. What's this one called? I don't even know.
It's the fifth one. It's called The Last Night, I think.
Yeah, because there's Merlin and all that type of stuff.
I watched a video before that apparently explained the timeline of these movies, and it hasn't done anything to help me.
This film, I think, to get me through this film, it took a lot of telling myself how to getting my brain to fill in the gaps, or giving myself my own reasons on why the film progressed as it did. Because it was actually unwatchable. 3 hours.
2.5.
2.5. Felt like 3.
Yep.
Or a bit longer. And honestly, first 30 minutes, I was already like, oh my god, this film is never going to end. Mm-hmm. What's the storyline?
That's
it's a good question, isn't it? There's no real push to the story. There's no
I think we should. Oh, I should anyway. I don't know how many of you've seen, but the only other Transformers film I've seen is the first one.
I've seen the one where Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox are in Egypt.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's the third one.
I haven't got a clue.
I don't know.
I know they're in 3 of them, and then Mark Wahlberg's in the other 2.
No, wait. But what about the one where, there's that blonde chick that replaced Megan Fox?
Yeah, wasn't that... That was the third one, wasn't it?
I thought that was the fourth one.
No, the fourth one is Mark Wahlberg.
Or maybe the second one...
Yeah.
Oh, no, maybe it was the second one that I saw.
I don't know. I know I saw the first one, I didn't mind it.
I think the
It
second
was okay.
one... The second one was the one I saw, because it was directly afterwards. And he was going to college, and there's Isabella girl who's blonde, and Isabella Lucas, who used to be Home and Away.
Yeah, because there was a big argument, apparently, between Megan Fox and Michael Bay.
Yeah.
And she got fired.
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah, and who cares?
Yeah, I don't...
And nobody's really adding much to that film.
No. So I'm eating a tater tot.
Yes. So yeah, the plot.
The plot
of this movie.
What is the plot, Ren? If you may.
Many years ago, when Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table were fighting a Saxon invasion into Europe.
Vikings is really
into England, sorry.
Yeah.
Merlin told them that he had a secret magic weapon, and he's a drunk. He's played by Stanley Tucci.
Which both of us, I had absolutely no idea it was Stanley Tucci.
I thought it might be, and I couldn't quite tell. And then I went, this probably is.
Yeah, probably.
Doesn't matter. He's only in the start of the movie.
Yeah.
And, there's an opening sort of sequence with a medieval siege, and then Merlin goes to this big open hole in the ground and talks to a
That sounds so wrong. A big, open, dark hole.
Yes. The world's anus, and he finds...
Mm-hmm. Just much like this film. The world's anus, isn't it?
He finds a transformer. We don't see its face.
Or its personality.
Yeah. That means it's just like everybody else in the movie. Except for Stanley Tucci's Merlin, who we know is drunk because he drinks. Mm-hmm. And then he's basically supposed to be a fraud. He's not actually a wizard. He's just telling them shit, and then he goes and he finds the transformer thing, and then it gives him a staff.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it says anything to him,
It was
only you can wield this or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Fuck this.
Something like that. And then he...
Can I just say, this film was so boring. My brain literally...
It was both boring and thoroughly bewildering at the same time.
It was there was no push to, advance the plot. So they just said, well, I guess this is happening.
No. There was plenty of push to advance the plot by any means necessary, whether it made sense or not.
Touche. The issue with the story, I had two. One, which was unbelievably boring.
Mm-hmm.
Two, which was none of the, like you said, it made no sense. Certain parts happened, but you're like, and then the editing on top of that. Like, I'm a huge person when it comes to editing, and the editing is really good. Some things I can kind of overlook.
Yep.
This was not it. So, like, my brain literally died. No, literally, because I remember we came out of that film. And
I think we all had a headache afterwards.
We were talking about it, and Ren mentioned this scene, and he's like, oh, in this scene, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? That did not happen. And he's like, it was right in the middle of the film. And I'm like, and our intern, who's behind me here, who he watched it with us, and he was like, oh yeah, no, that did happen. And I'm like, no, it didn't. And they're like, it was smack bang in the middle of the film. And I'm like, guys, I can't even remember what happened in the first 10 minutes of the film.
Yeah,
because my brain shut off. It just shut off. I don't remember anything. So if at any point you mention a scene and I'm like, I have no idea that happened, it's not my fault. It's just
the plot. It moves on after this whole... So he gets given this stuff, and then he goes to the battlefield with a 3-headed dragon transformer that obviously somehow connected to the staff.
Oh,
like you can use it if you've got the staff.
Yeah.
And it wins the battle in King Arthur's favour, and then we transition forward 1,600 years, I think it was, to modern day.
Yeah.
That's when it just gets really confusing.
Yeah.
Because there's
a bunch of kids.
There's about 3 different times where before it gets who our protagonist is, which is Mark Wahlberg's character.
There's 3.
Diego.
There's kind of like 3 different stories going. There's one with the kid.
No, but is there? Like, that's the thing.
Well, that's the thing. I don't really know, but I guess there is.
We start off with like a group of kids who go into some sort of no-go zone to do with the Transformers. Obviously to do with some things that have happened in the previous movies.
Yeah,
I don't know what
but
that
we
is
haven't
because I
watched
haven't
them.
seen it.
Yeah.
But they go into like a restricted area for some reason because I want to look at the shit in there. There's like going to be dead Transformers in there and stuff that they can look at. And they look at it, and then a little girl comes out of nowhere.
No, because the robots start attacking like...
Yeah, there's like the human-controlled drone robots track them down and they're like going to arrest them or something.
Who knows?
And then a little girl comes from...
It's not like they were going to hurt them, so I don't understand why the girl came out to save them from
Well, that's
no
the
danger.
other thing that's clear, because they mentioned that there's some sort of army-based squad thing called the TFA or something.
I thought it was SKT.
What? SKT? I thought it was TFA. Transformer something. TRA.
I swear there was a K.
I don't know.
Oh, who the fuck cares?
There's something.
There's a special task force.
Some sort of special task force.
TF.
Okay. It doesn't matter. Some sort of special task force.
Fuck me, I don't know.
To do with the Transformers. But
because all Transformers are illegal.
No, but are they? No, that's the thing. I don't know what they're supposed to be doing.
I don't know. What the fuck?
They just turn up every now and then. So they're monitoring this zone, trying to keep humans out?
Yes.
So then they find...
I don't know why, though, because if it's dead Transformers, what's wrong with that?
I don't know. Beats me. So...
I'm asking all the right questions, aren't
I? So yeah, the kids go in there, they're looking around, they get in trouble from these guys who are monitoring them, and then a little girl comes out of nowhere, and she starts fighting them with her own Transformer friend, and then they kill that Transformer friend, and she starts crying, and this whole moment...
Right, no, Canopy doesn't fight. Canopy's just
Canopy, that's his name.
I remember because she was crying.
I love how you remembered that.
The only
I
part
don't remember that at all.
Well, she yelled it so many times, and it was really weird because
she yelled it so many times in that sequence, and then he was never mentioned again.
Oh no, she talked about how like he was the only family, but then she had that poor little scooter guy.
Yeah, she had a little like blue scooter thing.
Yeah,
she kind of built herself.
Yeah, and I'm like, but that's your family. That's so mean. He's right next to you, man.
I didn't care. And then after the Canopy dies, Mark Wahlberg comes in, and the way that the film does it, it's like the little girl's supposed to be like who we follow, like our protagonist. She's supposed to go in and she's supposed to be the key to something.
Kind of like, you know how there's that little girl in Logan and all that.
Yeah, well, I thought it would be like Mark Wahlberg would be her like mentor a little bit, like teach her some things about this sort of
Yeah,
stuff,
nah.
and then maybe she'd like become an awesome part of. No,
No. That would make sense, Ren.
He takes her back to his junkyard, which is secret, that nobody knows about it and all that sort of shit.
Except for the person he hired.
Yeah, he hires some guy who's really paranoid about going to prison.
Hang on a second. What's this?
Apparently there's going to be a Bumblebee spin-off film and a sixth Transformers in 2019.
That's good to know.
I'm taking the fucking mic.
But anyway, they end up back at his junkyard, which is in hiding, which looks like it would be easily spotted from a drone.
Well, they are easily spotted, so...
Yeah. Well, the thing is like, I don't know how close everything is to each other in this film because of how bad the editing is, because they go out of this, like, abandoned suburban area which has been trashed in some sort of battle. And then, in a few cuts, they're out in the middle of the desert in his junkyard, which has got Transformers in it of all different kinds. One of whom is voiced by John Goodman. Another one who drops by to sell shit is Steve Buscemi. And then there's another guy he's got hired there. And then there's like a whole scene where he's explaining to the little girl how he can't either look after her or something like that. Like she can't stay there.
But then you don't understand how she follows him because she just turns up, is it? Or she's
she's with them.
Oh.
Because he comes in to save all the kids and everything, but the kids scatter and leave.
Oh, okay.
You never see those kids again.
Yeah.
Just her.
But I remember one of the first trailers out was primarily focused on the kids, so that's why I was like...
What was her?
Yeah. And then it was like...
She was like talking over the whole trailer, one of the whole trailers, and I was like, is she like the main character?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Maybe she was at some point and then they just changed it all.
Who knows?
But yeah, they get back to this thing. He explains to her how she can't stay there for some reason. I don't know why.
Because it's not safe.
She's clearly in trouble, and he takes care of all these people and things that are in trouble and allowed.
But not this girl.
And so the army must be tracking them.
Oh, because they had a tracker on Bumblebee.
Yeah, they shoot a tracker on Bumblebee, which beeps really loudly and nobody notices.
That's okay.
Until the army turns up.
Yeah.
And then they notice it and they take it off. And then they all leave. And in the space of 2 edits, they're in another town. Little small town.
Oh, yeah.
And they have a fight with the Decepticons, I think, who are also with the army.
The army... No. Wasn't
It's
it?
unclear whether the army and the Decepticons are like allies at this point.
There was something that happened.
No?
Something that happened that made, like, Decepticon want to negotiate.
Yeah. So the army was trying to negotiate with...
was it the Horns?
The Horns.
The Horns appear and then Decepticon's like, I want to negotiate with you about something.
So Megatron, who's the leader of the baddies, they're trying to do a deal with him, and then they release half of his people, and then they go after Mark Wahlberg with the army.
And then there's like Optimus Prime, who's...
Yeah. Then Optimus Prime at the start of this film is floating through space for some reason. I don't know why.
Something from the previous film
happened, and then he's floating in space. And then he ends up on like their homeworld, Cybertron, I think it is. But it's all messed up.
Yeah,
and
but then
his creator's there, this lady, this metal lady thing.
She's like
Quintessa. There you go. I didn't know
Thanks,
that.
intern.
Thanks, Bray. Yeah, she's there, and then she like touches him, and he goes bad.
Yeah, because he gets like that red mark or something.
Yeah, he gets like a red scar.
But then scar. No, but then like Megatron has it on his face as well.
Yes, he does.
So you assume.
So I assume that's got something to do with it. That's just I think a visual that's supposed to go. Oh, look, he's bad too.
But Megatron was always bad. He was part of the Decepticons. So
yeah, I don't know.
So a bad guy who turns bad. Duh.
But and it should be mentioned, there's one thing during the whole junkyard sequence where they've got Bumblebee laid out on the table and the little girl's putting in a voice box.
Oh, yeah.
Because he doesn't have a voice. He's got to use like the radio signals. And it's a lady's voice instead when they put it in and they're like, oh, and then he rips it out. Anyway, we'll get back to that later.
We will get back to that later. I don't think I didn't notice, Michael Bay. Don't think I fucking didn't notice.
But Yeah, and then when they're at that little town and the Decepticons are there and they're fighting, there's a space of about another 2 cuts, and they're in a much more suburban city area, like with high-rise buildings. And they go through a high-rise building and they're fighting like army drones and stuff, and then...
Then what? Oh, and then it cuts to that lady who plays polo.
Yeah, she plays polo, and she's a part of like the English aristocrat classes. And
There's a lot of struggle telling this film.
Yeah, it's
because
really
it's
difficult.
really hard to remember what happened because
I can't really
literally
remember a lot of it, and
none of it makes any sense.
It didn't make a great impression on me at all.
Yeah,
none of it.
Every time I looked over at you, Ren, you were just like, "Oh, fuck me."
I had a very bland, sort of nothing face. On
At one
the
point,
whole
I literally could feel my eyes close. I was just like,
I thought I was going to fall asleep.
Yeah, me too. I was like, oh, I am going to fall asleep. I've never ever fallen asleep in a film before, but I was going to like pass the fuck out.
But yeah, this whole drone sequence. Did they get captured? No. They run away again, or something. I can't actually remember how that resolves itself. I know that we do at some point. Yeah, we meet this English.
Yeah, we meet the English guy.
Lady.
No. What about the English robot who's like really kung fu?
Okay, we'll get to that.
I don't remember this.
We meet the English lady and we find out that she's an Oxford something. She's like
a professor.
She's a professor, and she's leading a tour group of indiscriminately aged people. So I don't know whether it's just because it's like they've all got exercise books out, like they're taking notes. But they don't look like they're a part of any particular school or class because they're all ages and everything. So I don't know why she's doing it. I think that's just them going, look, demographics.
Look, we can relate to you.
And then apparently these like high-level scholars just do tour guides. They just become tour guides.
Yeah.
In museums. But
could be that she's not a tour guide. She just is taking her class to a.
But like, what class is that? There's like 5-year-olds, not 5-year-olds, but like 12-year-old little girls that she's talking to, and then there's like 20-somethings as well.
I thought she was like, maybe they're just really, really, really young-looking 19-year-olds. You don't know that, Ren. They could just have that girl. I swear, the girl at the front that like smiled at her or something like that is like 18, 19.
No,
she
like
looked
12,
18.
13.
No, she did not look 12.
No, she looked younger than the other little girl who's with Mark Wahlberg at the time.
No, she didn't.
Yeah, she did. She looked way younger.
Yeah, no, she didn't. She looked old.
And the other one's supposed to be like 14.
Yeah, she looked old.
No, she didn't look old.
She had boobs.
Kids in that. So what?
She had boobs. She was obviously past 12. Surely.
Okay, 13. There you go.
No, Ren.
Still younger than the
No,
other.
I swear to God she was older. Either way.
Anyway.
Doesn't matter.
So we get introduced to her, and then it's like she's just kind of uptight, and her mother wants her to find a man.
You know what? She's actually one of my favourite characters because she delivers some of the actual
characters? She doesn't have a character.
But she actually says like funny stuff, which I like laughed at.
I didn't think any of the humour in this was funny. It was all really bad.
Some of it was like horrible, but I laughed a bit at what she said. I don't know. Whenever he was like, "Oh, that you got a slutty dress on" or something like that.
At some point,
and then she's like, "Maybe I'll just take it off." I thought that was funny.
And then he's like, "Okay."
It's funny.
But at some point, we get introduced to Anthony Hopkins, who lives in a castle, and then he somehow gets Mark Wahlberg to him. That's what happens. The butler robot of his ends up in America.
You forget the talisman thing.
Oh, yeah. Holy crap.
Oh, my God.
So there's a talisman in this movie as well that Mark Wahlberg finds on a dead Transformer thing that's supposed to be really old, and it gives it to him. And it's a little circle thing, but it can crawl around. Yeah,
so anytime Mark Wahlberg was getting shot at, the thing would like protect him from the bullets. So he'd see these bullet holes, and then you see the talisman like crawling around his body. And then there's this really weird like scene where he's like holding his shirt up, and you just see it crawling, and then the girls are like, "What the fuck? Oh, okay, abs, like abs."
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's much later on. But
yeah. Shh, intern.
But he's got a talisman, and it's supposed to be very important.
Not
and
really. It's one time.
That's why Anthony Hopkins finds him with his butler robot, who comes to save them at the desert town, and then somehow they manage to get Bumblebee all the way to the UK at the same time. Even though they can't fly in there, he's a car.
Maybe they flew him in there in parts. He can split up into parts and then merge back together.
I know.
Stop laughing. It's not funny, Ren. Transformers was the best film ever.
But yeah, then they arrive at a castle, and then he's got a bunch of like really old Transformers from like World War One as well.
Yeah.
There, who have like old tanks and stuff. And then he takes him through this whole backstory of like the family that are like all these great inventors that knew about all this stuff, all this Transformers stuff.
Oh, and then
that's when the fact that the movie was partially filmed in IMAX became a really glaring problem in the movie.
Wait, why did they do that though?
So they could show it in IMAX.
Yeah, but
like,
why
really
did they
big.
do partial IMAX?
No, but I don't know why they did it this way. See, like, when Christopher Nolan did it with The Dark Knight, it was like just the opening sequences and a few other bits throughout the film. It wasn't like every second shot.
Yeah.
In this film, it feels like every second shot, and then it goes from widescreen, full screen, widescreen, and then
Full
it
screen,
becomes
widescreen.
really obvious when there's
Yeah.
a three-way conversation happening between Anthony Hopkins, the English girl, and Mark Wahlberg. They're all
What's the
sitting...
English girl's name?
No idea. I can't remember.
It was
See, I only know the other two because I've been in
know.
other things that were actually good. She
she just looked like Megan. I swear she looked like Megan Fox. It's just
English Megan Fox.
Yeah, English Megan Fox. And interns looking up the name.
Vivian.
Her name was Vivian? No,
Sure.
it wasn't. Wait, was
it
that the
doesn't-
name of the actor or was that the name of the character?
He's nodding his head. That means yes.
Character. The fuck? Her name was not Vivian. I do not remember her name.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of things about this, but
Yeah. As I just...
but there is a conversation where the three of them are talking about what's going to happen or something. The butler robot's in the room as well. He kind of talks a little bit, but not much. But there's three different shots basically. It's her side on, Anthony Hopkins' side on, looking at Mark Wahlberg, and then Mark Wahlberg's center. And every time it goes from her, Anthony Hopkins, IMAX, like full screen. Mark Wahlberg, normal, like widescreen. And it got really jarring. It always felt awkward, the cut, because it's just different every time.
I thought that I was going crazy. Surely, because I would look up and see, those black bars.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't notice those before. Oh, I guess it's been there the whole time and I haven't been paying attention. Which I haven't been. And then a few minutes later, it would disappear and I'd be like, didn't...
Yeah.
Maybe I just... No. And then I'm thinking to myself, maybe it's just like all the wide scenes with the... like the landscape shots.
Yep.
So I thought, okay, well... And then a minute later, it would just pop up again and I'll be like, it's me, I'm going crazy. I've just not seen it. I'm so tired and I'm so like half asleep. I've just not noticed it. I'm just, like, and I kept like kind of saying, Lindy, you're going crazy. It's been there the whole time, and then it'll go away, and then I'll be like, am I? What? And then so I didn't think that anyone else noticed until you guys came out and pointed it out, and I'm like, okay, so I'm not going crazy.
Yeah.
I can't hear myself in this ear.
It's alright.
Yeah, it's better.
It's all good. So...
What else happened?
I'm trying to
Such a
think what happened then.
struggle.
So, it's at that point that Anthony Hopkins reveals to the girl that she is the last descendant of Merlin.
Yes.
And therefore she's the key to the
Getting
staff.
the staff, because it's all about the staff.
It's all about the staff that we saw in the Merlin flashback from the medieval
Wait,
era.
can I tell the rest then?
Okay.
Because the rest is this is the only part I remember really onwards, because this is the part where there's like a bit more like stuff, I guess, like stuff that actually makes a little bit more sense.
I will mention one thing, which is before this. There was really... I think that this speaks to a lot of the stuff that is just very weird. And I'm pretty sure this has been done before, but I think it was done better last time. Is that in the first film, I remember there's a sequence because Bumblebee's a much older car to begin with, and then he turns into the newer.
Oh, yeah.
And it actually happens during a driving sequence.
Yeah.
He's driving past the other car and then suddenly turns into it, like in air. But I feel like the first time it was cleverer. Like we understood what was going on. Because it'd been such a long time since I'd seen the first one, I forgot that they could do that. There's a scene where she's getting driven by like a much older British car. I can't remember what I think it's a Jaguar, maybe. I don't know.
Very small black car.
Yeah. Small green.
I thought it was
green.
black. Oh no, it was red and It's a colour.
But she's in a really much older car, which is her car,
Yeah.
but it's a Transformer and she doesn't know it.
Her dad gave it to her to like protect her.
Her dad gave it to her, and now Anthony Hopkins basically like activates it and says like, "Bring her to me," sort of thing. And it goes nuts, and it's driving towards the castle basically. And then on the way there, it pulls up beside a much like nicer sports car thing,
As they're all
like,
sports cars.
awesome supercar thing.
Yeah.
And then in a really awkward cut, she's suddenly in that, and it didn't really translate. I was going, what?
Because I remember when Bumblebee transformed, there was this slow kind of and it shows that clear
but
line.
also, I don't think that... Yeah, Megan Fox and Shia LaBeouf went in the car at the time. It drives off.
Yeah.
And they're like going, where the hell did it go?
It's like,
and then
right,
it comes
you
back
pissed it
and
off.
it's much nicer. And it's
Yeah.
this new thing. In this, it was like she's in it. And then there's a weird
She's in the
cut.
boot, and then next thing she's in the
boot.
front, and
then
you're like,
all of a sudden she's in the front of this other car, and I was going, what happened?
I'm like, is this? Oh, okay.
For a second, I was going, what?
This is good. It was just like this was lazy cutting and editing and all
I
that.
think they were just going, I just make it nicer. And I think they must have had some sort of like product placement deal with that other car.
Yeah,
Maybe I don't know what it was.
it could have been.
Which
They
says
had
it was
like
bad product placement because I don't know what the car was.
Yeah. Well, they tried. Anyway, so
Yes, so you go on with the story past the bit where she's told she's Merlin's.
She's Merlin, and then
sister.
pretty much Anthony Hopkins
Mm.
tells her, you know, your dad would have left you a clue to kind of show you where the staff is.
Mm.
So she goes, okay. They somehow get back to her place, and like she's pulling Mark Wahlberg through, and then all her family, like her mom, her grandma,
and
her aunts, and all that are like, oh, hello.
Oh man,
A man.
does he have a dungeon? That was a weird joke.
Yeah, that was a weird.
It's a very badly done joke.
Yeah. People laughed. Not
Yeah,
us, but people
Not
did.
us, but people did.
Every time someone laughed, I'm like, this was a very crude joke.
Somebody laughed. I was like, was that funny?
It wasn't very funny. I only laughed at the...
I mean, it's funny. If you find it funny, you find it funny.
I only laughed at a few quips that Vivian made with Michael, because I thought it was like kind of, pardon me.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time I was like, that's not... Like, that's that joke at the beginning. What was it? It was like something about, like, oh, I'm sold or something. I was just like, this is so fucking stupid.
Anyway, continue.
Anyway, so they go, and she finds it, like, in one of her old childhood picture books, like pop-up books. It's hidden in there. Pulls it out, says something like...
I don't know what it says. Oh, the Naval Museum.
Oh, yeah, the Navy Museum?
Navy Museum,
Whatever. The one with the big... It's in a big submarine.
It's got a big submarine that's on the shore. It's on
Yeah.
display. You can go inside it.
So they go there, and they're, like, knocking everything over, and all the women are thinking, like, they're having some weird wild sex or something like that.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, we'll go and have a look.
He's like, I have to have a peek. Anyway, so then they go to the museum. Anthony Hopkins, like, pays the lady, says, okay, get everyone off the fucking, like, submarine.
Yeah.
He shoots
He has
everyone.
the authority to do that as crazy old man.
Yeah, exactly. And then he tells them, oh, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I'll leave you with my crazy...
I don't know why.
Because he has to go to Stonehenge.
Yeah, but he didn't do anything there either.
He shot at Megatron
For 2
out of
seconds,
his
and then he
cane.
died.
Yeah, I know. The most
And the
tragic
butler-
death
and
ever.
the butler went, oh no.
You were the coolest.
You were pretty cool.
We'll get to that in a bit.
He's a terrible comic relief, that
He
butler.
was horrible. I don't even know what the point of him was. Like, he actually pissed me off. Like, he was fucking annoying robot butler, passive aggressive, angry, whatever. So then, so what happens?
And twist, the submarine's a transformer.
Yeah. Oh, let me just cut in for a second. Just tell you that girl from the beginning, she's no longer with them. She's just back
she
at the
hasn't
junkyard.
been in the film for ages at this point.
At this point, it's been
you
an
don't
hour.
actually know
since
where
we
she is,
yeah.
actually.
She
can't be at the junkyard because the army's at the junkyard.
Well, Mark Wahlberg just said to them, oh, well, your family now, despite the fact that a day ago was, you can't stay here.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, I'll look after you. Everything will be fine. I'll be back before you know it or something. I don't know.
Some crap.
Not crap. Go to submarine. Submarine takes them, and then the special task force is following them, I think.
Yeah, that's why I was saying I don't understand their motivation. Here's the other thing as well. Anthony Hopkins is constantly, every now and then, in contact with John Turturro, who's in Cuba, with another Transformer. And I don't understand his role in the movie at all. Like, he's got some information of some kind
Oh, yeah,
I think it's to do with
book.
Stonehenge, but I don't know why or
Yeah,
what.
the book
I can't remember.
about the horns that appear. There are horns that appear.
There are these big metal horns that are appearing out of the ground.
Because Earth is known as Unicron, which is...
No, it was Cybertron or whatever, apparently.
Cybertron was supposed to encase Unicron.
No, Unicron is actually a transformer itself. It's a transformer, apparently.
Well, the horns are Unicron, apparently.
Yeah.
And then Cybertron's supposed to, like... So, if we go to Queen Quinson...
The one who created whatever.
The creator. So... Yeah,
Quintessa.
Yeah, so Optimus Prime, he's reborn as Nemesis Prime.
Yep.
And
reborn. He's just he's just a dick now.
Quintessa says that he has to like kill the people on Earth so that she could get the staff, so she can swallow up Earth. So Cybertron will be Cybertron. Like,
so Cybertron will be back to normal again. Yeah. It'll be whole again.
Yeah. So anyway, so the submarine like goes down. Task Force is following them, and they go into this kind of underwater ship.
Yeah, there's a ship
thing
underwater.
Go in. They're walking around. The whole thing is like all Transformer-esque.
And then she touches the stuff.
Oh no, she touches the floor, and the floor like opens, and she touches all this. Like every time she touches anything, she's like, and then like everything lights up.
As Kenji just mouthed to me, she touches the stuff and it gets bigger.
Yeah, pretty much. So like they find Merlin's tomb, pushes it off, and he's holding this wooden.
And then he touches
still a better joke than what was.
Then she touches Merlin's stuff and it gets bigger.
Yeah, exactly. No, but like she touches there's Merlin's stuff, and then they get like really upset because it looks like it's made out of wood.
Yep, certainly does.
I just dug myself a hole, but whatever.
And anyway, she touches it and it gets bigger. Yeah,
well, it turns into metal.
Yeah, and it gets bigger.
Yeah, so she does that.
You have to make your own jokes in this movie.
Yeah. That's the
so
only joke, and it wasn't even one that they properly told.
And then all of the old night Transformers wake up.
Yeah, but then like Optimus Prime or Nemesis Prime comes in with like his sword.
Yeah, and he starts killing.
He starts killing everyone, and then Bumblebee comes, and Bumblebee starts fighting him, and that's when that voice box thing comes. Oh
yeah, because the ship comes out of the water.
Yeah.
And Bumblebee and Nemesis Prime are having a fight
on the top. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, is he going to have to kill Optimus? No, of course not.
Well, because Bumblebee's apparently his closest, oldest friend.
Let's put it this way, Optimus Prime is the main reason that little kids go and see these movies.
Yeah, true.
So they're not going to kill him off. I mean, apparently they've already killed him off and brought him back already.
Yeah, well, that was the second film.
Was it?
Yeah.
It's not the third film? Sure it's not the third?
I don't know.
I don't actually know. I haven't seen it.
No, the third film's the one with the blonde chick. Maybe he dies in each of them and then just comes back in each of them. I don't fucking know.
He's even better than Jesus. He just
he's
kills
a
himself.
machine.
He gets killed and then he comes back and then he dies again. He comes.
Anyways,
no, and then so they must have watched Batman v Superman and thought that was a good idea. And then Bumblebee, for absolutely no reason,
just
talks in his normal voice, even though he doesn't have a voice box.
Yeah.
As we mentioned earlier.
So there's just
and
like
that just
pure willpower.
And that just snaps him out of it.
Yeah.
He's just normal Optimus again and he fights for the good guys.
Making me watch that makes me think about like, do Transformers have like homosexual relationships? No, because if you think, sorry, because if you think about it, like most films where you see some guys under mind control, the only way he really breaks out of it is like if the love of his life is
yeah.
You know, he's about to kill the love of his life or something like that.
Or if you mention his mum's name.
Oh, yeah. So I'm like, is Optimus Prime like gay for Bumblebee or something?
I hope so. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be a better film. Still a better film. That should be a thing now. Instead of Twilight, still a better film than Transformers.
Yeah, anything's better. I actually have to say, like, I saw Michael Bay's previous film, 13 Hours.
Yeah. And
I would rather watch that movie another 10 times than watch this again. And I didn't even like 13 Hours that much, but I have a new appreciation for that movie. That movie's about the Benghazi incident, and it's not... What would I say? I don't think it's particularly well written, and I think some of the stylistic choices he makes in those movies completely compromise the seriousness of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, it goes from like brutally realistic war violence to the sort of thing you would expect in a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole bit in there when there's like soldiers going towards the embassy or whatever. I can't remember exactly. The embassy.
The place.
And they're going towards them, and then like a bunch of one of the other factions within Libya turns up, and there's a mounted gun on the back of a car, and it just like in a realistic way like chews up a bunch of guys. It's just like they're shooting, and like a whole bunch of like the terrorists die.
Yeah.
And then it's like a few cuts later, one of the American guys fires a single shot at one of the terrorist guys,
and it
hits him. No, it hits him, and then he gets flung over the car behind him, like a John Woo movie, where somebody gets hit and goes like flying through the air. And I was going,
Do you know the ones? Do you see those like really old-fashioned editing like videos where when someone's like supposed to be going through the air, they like spin him, and it's like
that movie's also got a really, and it's really bad because it's a recent event as well. Like this isn't like 50 years ago in like World War II or anything.
You're like
that.
This is uncomfortable.
Like this is recent, and it's like he amps up this moment at the end of the film where there's mortars dropping on the Americans, and like a couple of them actually died here.
Yeah.
And it's like he's trying to get the best special effects shot in his movie for this bit, and it's like literally one of the soldiers like yelling in slow motion, and the mortar's coming down in front of him like this, and it's like he's looking at it, and it was going, this is weird.
Yeah. Much like the film.
Transformers.
Anyways, so they're on the ship. Quintessa's got the staff because Optimus Prime kind of goes back to his original senses, and then Megatron comes and steals the staff, gives it to Quintessa.
And there's a big drawn out fight sequence.
Yeah, I don't really. There's no really good explanation.
The thing is, though,
of what's happening.
Like this is the thing as well. Like usually with Michael Bay, like it's not. His action sequences to me aren't particularly impactful because there's a lot of shit just happening
for the sake of it,
and lots of it is just stuff. But usually I can tell what's going on. Yeah. And this I couldn't really.
There was no like up
I didn't
or down.
Understand what was happening. There was something.
You don't really know where where they are on the battle.
The whole time through the film, like it's like Cybertron, like the remains of Cybertron are coming towards Earth, and it's going to suck up Earth when she gets the stuff and she activates it. She gets the stuff, she's activating it, it's getting close, and it like starts to scrape up parts of the Earth.
You think she's in that Cybertron area, but then turns out she's in that little ship that was originally
she's in the ship. That's what confused me for a while. I didn't know where she was, and then
I thought she was still up there. So I'm like, and then I don't understand how.
No, but hang on, I think
Optimus
she is.
Prime gets. I don't know.
I think she is because
where is she?
Because they end up landing all their helicopters on a bit of Cybertron that's floating, and they're on a thing called the ignition chamber. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Like, it says ignition chamber, but I don't know what it's supposed to be starting, because whatever's happening is already happening. And they're on the thing, and they're supposed to get into there, and there's, like, a big gun, and there's a whole fight scene
I don't even remember this part.
Well, there's a whole, like, battle sequence about them trying to blow up this gun, and then the little girl who's there now...
Oh, yeah, she Mark Wahlberg's message.
She gets her little blue
Scooter
dude to, like, go inside it, and, like, he's got, like, some sort of massive gun thing now.
Yeah. Oh, because it's from the Decepticon... He has a Decepticon arm or something?
Does he? Yes, he does. She put it onto him. In
all the useless details I remember.
And then they blow up the
gun.
The gun. And then they get into the ignition chamber, and that's when they have the fight with her, the Quintessa.
They have a fight with her? No, she just grabs the staff, doesn't she?
No, she's in there with the staff.
Yeah. Oh, all I know is like Optimus Prime has a battle with kind of a battle with Megatron. I mean, for all the fighting, there wasn't a very good battle with Optimus Prime.
There was no moment where like the good guy fought the bad guy.
Yeah, there was,
and it's weird as well because it's like the part where Mark Wahlberg being the last knight comes into it, like he's that was terrible.
That was okay. So can I? Okay, I'm going to tell this story. So we were talking about that little crawly, what's it called? The thing that crawls around on him.
Now I can't remember what it is.
Yeah. Whatever, that thing.
The thing that he picked up from the dead.
So the 12...
Talisman, there you go.
The talisman, there we go. The 12 knights, like, because they're all supposed to merge together to become the dragon that we see at the beginning.
Are they 12?
Isn't it 12 knights on the round table?
Okay.
For some reason, I thought there was 12.
I don't think I ever remember seeing 12 of them.
Okay, well, all the knights of the round table.
Because I couldn't tell the difference between them and the Decepticons half the time.
Yeah, no, neither could I. I thought there was this scene where, like, all the Decepticons comes together into this giant, like,
because I was thinking, are knights fighting on their side? What's happening?
Yeah, I know. There's no real, like, the knights...
They must be for a while because the Quintessa's got the stuff.
Yeah. But then there's, like, no... But then Optimus Prime comes in on the dragon, so I thought that meant the dragon was on their side.
But have they got the stuff by then? I can't remember.
No, they don't.
Don't they?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, so what happened is because Optimus Prime technically betrayed them.
That's how Mark Wahlberg gets into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're on top of the ship or whatever, they're having a fight.
Yeah.
And then the Knights like come in to kill Optimus.
Yeah.
And then Mark Wahlberg stands up and like the talisman turns into Excalibur.
Yeah.
And he blocks one of them with it.
But then but this is the part where like if this happens,
it never comes up again.
This happens all throughout the film where things happen and then disappear,
and
it's
gone.
Just like, and then just like okay, I guess
and,
this is
we've done with that.
This is like a mana potion in like an RPG. Use it once and then throw it away, because he has the sword, and they don't even like show him dropping it or throwing it down or putting it in a stone or anything like that. You see a cut of him holding it,
and then about 2 cuts later, he doesn't have it anymore.
Not even 2 cuts. You just see a cut of it up close.
Yeah,
cut of Mark Wahlberg's face,
and they're talking. And then it sort of pans across, and he's not holding it anymore.
And then he's not holding it. And then I'm like...
It's just gone.
So in your head, you're thinking he dropped it. Because
I'm thinking, what happened to it? And then I just went, they just forgot about it.
Well, that's what I said. I was like, is this... Like, in my head...
Went, there we go, it's done.
In my head, I had to have some form of explanation, because you know me, if I don't have a logical explanation for these things, it drives me crazy. Okay? Just like the rest of this film.
Never watch a Transformers movie again.
Just like the whole film, the whole time in my head, I was like, oh, well, that's happening because this reason, and I assume that this is why, which I shouldn't have to do, you know? Mm. So I was like, okay, I was like, he dropped the sword, okay, that's fine, it's all fine, it's all fine. I paid money to see this film, it's fine. So, so they all go into battle, and then...
there's another fight at Stonehenge.
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins dies because
explosions.
Apparently more important than coming with them...
No, I think this happened before, wasn't it?
Well, at some point this happens.
Yeah.
Apparently more important than going down in the submarine with them or anything was to him to turn up at Stonehenge and shoot Megatron like twice with his stuff, does nothing, and then Megatron blows him up. Yeah. And then he's dead.
Yeah.
And that's
made him feel like a hero, though.
Did it?
Yeah, that's what he said. Anything. That's what he said, though.
Because I feel like a hero, and everybody's going, no, you're a joke. Kid, you should go back to eating people.
Yeah.
In other movies. And you were amazing.
He did it for the money.
Well, that's it. I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, even Mark Wahlberg's better than this.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Mark Wahlberg's like a decent actor.
Yeah, he can be good in things.
I've
seen him be good in things.
Just not this.
I don't think it's his fault.
No,
I just think it's a terrible,
he's just
terrible
like,
waste
I signed
of
this
time.
contract and now I have
what
to do
I found
it.
amazing about this, how quickly it ended at the end.
Oh, yeah.
The threat was gone and the credits were rolling. I was going, what the fuck happened?
I don't even know what happened at the end.
They beat her.
Yeah.
Quintessa or something.
Yeah. Yeah. No, she Vivian grabs the staff and then Quintessa gets all like, sad, and then
Is that it? What happened to her?
I don't know, Ren.
I can't remember what happened to her.
I don't know. I don't even remember how the film ended.
She's supposed to be the main bad guy of the movie, and I can't remember what happened to her.
I don't remember exactly what happened after Vivian grabs the staff. Well, I know she grabs the staff.
The thing about it as well, they're just like, we've got to stop this Cybertron thing coming down to Earth and like destroying everything.
It touches Earth though and destroys Hong Kong.
Yeah, it destroys like Hong Kong and a bunch of others.
Yeah.
Good money shot of Hong Kong to get the Chinese happy to buy this movie. My thing as well is like the logic of it was like, okay, you stop the planet-sized thing from crashing into the planet and absorbing it. Where's it going to go?
Can I just say, I've looked up the film and it has like some reviews. And this one says, the 5th Transformers movie is far from the worst in this continuing experiment in noisy nonsense based on Hasbro toys. That is thanks largely to 2 words, Anthony Hopkins. So horrible.
That's it.
Director Michael Bay's latest big-budget Transformers sequel is unnecessary, unintelligible, and unsatisfying unless your only expectation is more explosions and battles.
Well, the thing is though, like, usually he shoots the explosions nicely or something. Like, usually they're nice to look at. But they sucked.
Yeah, they do suck.
It was unintelligible most of the time, what was happening. But yeah, the movie just ends, and then we have a quick, like, not even post-credit sequence, it's like the start of the credits, and then it's just like, lady walks up to a bunch of people in a desert where one of the horns has come up, and then I can't even remember what she says. So
she says, he doesn't like that. Oh.
Yeah, he doesn't like you touching it or something, which is funny.
Wait, let me read the end. So, The Autobots arrive during the fight, landing on Cybertron and battling against the Decepticons and Quintessa's Infernocons.
Infernocons?
Who the fuck are the Infernocons? I don't know.
When did they get introduced?
I have no idea.
Was that word ever said?
Nope. Optimus and his Autobots, backed up by the Knights in their dragon form, vanquish their many foes. Sorry. What is this? Optimus defeats Megatron while Bumblebee appears to slay... Oh, yeah, Bumblebee slays Quintessa. Wembley...
When do you do that?
Who's Wembley? Oh, Wembley is Merlin, but whatever. Removes himself, stopping Cybertron's destruction of Earth, but leaving the two planets connected. Optimus declares that humans and Transformers must work together to rebuild their worlds, and sends a message calling any surviving Autobots to come home. I don't really...
Come home to Earth, which isn't their home.
But I don't understand, like, what happened. Like, I don't remember the final scene. Physically, I cannot picture.
I don't actually remember Bumblebee killing her.
Neither do I.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember.
I can't remember that. It all just seemed like a blur. Maybe it was very quick and... but yeah, it all finishes... They stop the planet from going to...
Oh, wait, maybe she grabs the staff, she gives it to Optimus Prime?
Why?
I don't know. Okay, let's just stop talking about
that.
The film.
But yeah,
we've tried.
But it ends with a very contrived thing of the little girl running up to Mark Wahlberg and he says something about her being family and she did really good, and then the movie ends.
Oh yeah, I remember there was a scene.
There's a voiceover from Optimus which is supposed to give us the impression that the movie had a point, and then the credits roll, and then there's a little thing about a lady in a cloak walking up to the archaeologist or something who are inspecting the big horn that's come out of the earth and saying like he doesn't like that, and then the movie's finished and it's like, well, there's definitely going to be a sixth one, and as Kenny just told us, there's going to be a Bumblebee spin-off as well.
This is absolute fucking cancer.
It's really bad that like Shia LaBeouf was like in the best ones of these, like, you know, he's in the good ones.
Feel bad for Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. I don't. He's making plenty of money.
Yeah, it's true.
He's also in Pain and Gain, which is another Michael Bay movie around about when he was doing all this. With The Rock. I haven't seen it. Doesn't interest me.
Inten said it's a good movie.
Oh, is it good? Okay.
It's fun.
It's alright then.
It's alright, yeah. Well, that was a roller coaster. I love how like, with good films it's so easy to say what happened and go through the plot and all that. And a film like this, we're like struggling to remember because it's just so convoluted. It's like...
you have to remember scenes first, and then you have to work out what they meant.
Which is nothing.
Which is nothing most of the time. Also, like, amazing how geography works in this movie. I reckon in the space of a day...
They travel like 4 countries.
They go from the US to London to out in the countryside of London, then back to London, into a submarine, then somehow they go up to the Thames, and in about 2 cuts they're out past the White Cliffs of Dover, and then they're down the bottom of the ocean, and they come back up, and then they're back over at Stonehenge, and then they blow everything up. I think that's all in one day.
Ren, there's only 48 hours in a day, don't you know?
It's only 3 weeks in a day.
Yeah, of course. There's just no indication of... Because there's no... You know how people normally cut, like, days up with, like... they have, like, a night scene, or they have a scene where it's, like...
Usually you get a feeling for the time.
Yeah, this was just, like, daylight.
Yeah.
And you're like, is this 1 day or is this 2 days?
Have they
been in the submarine for 2 weeks? Like, how long have they been here?
I assume that submarine scene was the nighttime.
I hope so.
But we don't know because they're under the sea.
Yeah. So. And also, like, the weird... Like, I understand they have to put, like, a romantic couple kind of thing going on. But
that was forced.
That was so forced. Like, it's like they hated each other when they first... I actually enjoyed the scenes where they were, like, throwing shit at each other. Because I thought that was kind of funny. Whereas when they were actually together and that they were all being like, oh...
Lame.
I'm like...
It was crap.
It was horrible. It was... Like,
we should say the only reason we saw this was because there was nothing else to see.
Plus, I mean, I said to my friends, I'm like, you gotta take one for the team. I mean, we can't always review good films. We have to do some shitty ones. We knew this was going to be shit, but, like, it was obviously a current film.
It was the only thing on at the right time, on the right day. Like, you know, I don't know what our next film's probably going to be like Spider-Man.
Hopefully, yeah. Spider-Man's coming out soon.
On the 6th, which is, like, next week.
When's Dunkirk coming out?
20th?
still so fun.
And there's like Baby Driver somewhere in between.
I do want to see Baby Driver.
Everybody's been saying that the chase scenes in that movie are amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
What about Atomic Blonde?
It's not out until August. But
sad.
that'll probably be in like, what, 2 podcasts from now?
3.
3.
I'll say 3. 3 just to be safe.
Yeah.
Anyways.
There's some good stuff coming. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
This week just wasn't one of them.
Like there were other things on, they were just at the wrong time, and I was like, I'm not particularly interested in seeing them either.
Yeah.
Like, is it All Eyes on Me? It's a 2-pack movie, and I'm like,
No.
I don't really care.
Neither do I.
Like, no offense, but I don't give a shit.
I don't care much for autobiography kind of films.
Biopics, yeah, I think they're overdone now.
Yeah.
They're getting to the point where
I was
yeah.
gonna watch Theory of Everything, but then I heard
that was
really
terrible.
horrible.
I saw it.
Ah.
It was very just
Blah.
by the numbers.
Yeah, because a lot of my friends, I initially saw the trailer because my friend sent it to me because she's like, because we're both film students. And she's like, this looks really effing good. And I looked at it and I'm like, oh no, it does look really good. Because I thought, it was pretty interesting because Stephen Hawking is such a successful man in terms of his intelligence and his discoveries and all that. And obviously he's a well-respected man.
Yeah, of course.
So I thought it was going to be kind of similar to, A Beautiful Mind.
I'd say it's closer to like The King's Speech. Weirdly enough, like...
Ah.
And I like The King's Speech. Like,
Yeah.
it's a fine movie, but it's very, like... It's Oscar bait.
Yeah.
And it worked, because Eddie Redmayne got an Oscar for it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think he had to do a lot of acting in this movie. Like,
He just sat
when
there.
he's normal, like, when he's
Yeah.
Stephen Hawking pre-sickness,
Yeah.
he's just himself. It's just him. I was
He's
like...
played quite a few roles. What's his name?
When he's in Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah,
I mean,
but he's played the Danish Girl, which I haven't seen.
Same
but
director as King's Speech, actually.
Oh, there we go. But I really wanted to see Danish Girl. I still haven't had a chance to see it because
Everybody I've spoken to says it's just really there.
I think these films are like the ones that you see the trailer for and it's really amazing. Like,
The trailer's better than the movie?
Yeah. Speaking of trailers, Jackie Chan film. The
Foreigner.
The Foreigner,
That
not the
looks awesome.
refugee. Looks amazing.
That looks pretty cool.
When I saw it, I was like, "Oh, girl!"
Because I'd read it like on his IMDb page,
Yeah,
like a month and a half ago or something. Like
Yeah.
he'd made a film with Martin Campbell of Casino Royale and
Yeah.
GoldenEye and Edge of Darkness and
Yeah.
a bunch of it. And I was going, that could be good. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, Pierce Brosnan's in it. And
because if you think about like the James Bond film, like Casino Royale, it's probably the best one out of
all of them. It's my
Definitely.
favourite Bond movie.
It is because I watched Casino Royale because I was going to go watch Skyfall. I was going to watch Skyfall, and what was the two before? It was Casino Royale and
Quantum of Solace.
Quantum of Solace. So,
Skyfall.
yeah.
Spectre.
Not
Spectre
Spectre.
sucks.
Yeah, Spectre did suck. So I remember I was going to go see Skyfall, so I thought I hadn't watched any new James Bond films up until
How many of the old ones have you seen?
maybe
None?
2. I saw Die Another Day,
Oh, that's dog
and
shit.
there's another one. I cannot remember what it
happens
was.
in it? Do you know what happens in it?
People die. I don't know.
Do you know which Bond it is?
It's Pierce Brosnan.
So GoldenEye.
It was GoldenEye. There we go.
So that's the director of Casino Royale.
Yeah,
That's also like probably the best Pierce Brosnan one.
I was gonna say
Not a great movie or anything, but it's fine.
Could be better.
I enjoy it for their stupid characters.
Well, you don't enjoy Bond films for the seriousness.
No.
No, you enjoy it for the action and the typical Bond.
The Bond movies are incredibly silly.
Yeah.
They used to be like kind of a little bit weird, but like still kind of espionage movies,
Yeah.
and then in the 80s they got
No.
really retarded.
Yeah,
When Roger Moore was in it.
80s was a different time. Anyways, what was I going to
70s
say?
as well,
Yeah.
sorry.
So I watched Casino Royale and I was like, oh, this is really good. Like, really enjoyed it. Didn't think I would enjoy it, but really enjoyed it.
Casino Royale's a bit more than a Bond movie though.
Yeah,
Because it's just, if it wasn't Bond, it'd still be good.
yeah. It's a good
It
stand.
didn't have a lot of the James Bond stuff in it. Like, they still ticked a lot of boxes. Like, he's still got kind of does the opening
Yeah.
with the gun barrel.
Yeah.
But only, it's woven into how the opening happens.
I like that. And then I watched Quantum of Solace and I was like, that was not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
It wasn't up. I had the same
I think
expectations.
it's got some good moments in terms
Yeah.
of his character, but
But like overall, after I watched it, I was
the
a bit
bad guy
disappointed.
and the actual like spy plot that's happening is crap.
The bad guy in Casino Royale is so good. Like the guy Mads Mikkelsen, he plays good villains though. But he was really good. He was amazing. I love Mads Mikkelsen. I watched him in sorry, just diverging now to a different story altogether. But I watched him in Hannibal, like the new modern take of it.
Yeah, I've only watched the first season of that, but I need to see the rest.
It's really good. Honestly, second season gets so good. But yeah, anyways, I watched that. So, like I said, I had the same expectations for Quantum Solace and for the new one, Skyfall, at the time as Casino Royale, and I was really disappointed with Skyfall. Like, I didn't hate it. I liked it. Don't get me wrong, I liked it. I didn't hate it, but like, it wasn't as good as Casino Royale for me.
Yeah, it's not the same sort of movie.
Yeah.
It's more of a typical Bond movie, but not as bad as a lot of them. I liked
the scene where he's playing poker in Casino Royale. Because it's
Yeah.
so, like, it's not, like, typical Bond shooting action. It's, like, very, you know, you're looking at minds and you're looking at, like,
that's
psychology.
Kind of what it used to be more about.
Yeah.
Not as well directed as that, I don't think, or well made, but like, you know, the sort of the classic Sean Connery Bond is like From Russia with Love and all that sort of stuff, where he's like hanging in a casino and all that sort of stuff. And
yeah. Anyways, back to Transformers.
Do we have to?
No.
So there's going to be a sixth one. We probably won't watch it. So
you don't know, Ren. I'm going to make you watch it.
Why? Why would you do that?
We have to watch. I already made like this choice. We have to watch
there's probably plenty of other crap movies that aren't this. That aren't from this
don't
franchise.
hate each other that much. Maybe they'll sponsor us to watch it. And then we have to. I'm the type of person they're like, oh, will you sponsor?
Do a shit review?
No, I would like if someone said, oh, would you watch this film for us? I'd be like, yeah, sure. I ain't promising good things, but okay, I'll tell you.
They usually, if they like ask you to do it, they put like a contract together of like you won't receive payment unless it's favourable.
That's okay.
I'm not saying that they would. I can't.
They don't have to pay me. They just give me free movie tickets.
We don't have the numbers for this.
You don't know that, Ren. Not with that attitude.
Maybe by 2019 when they bring it out. But yeah,
I really don't want to watch it.
No, it's terrible. I didn't want to go and see that yesterday.
Yeah, sorry.
It's really bad.
I guess like the best advice we can offer you from our perspective is
if you liked the other ones, then go see it. You've probably already seen it. You're probably already going to go and see it.
Yeah, but like my friend, she was asking me, and I'm like, just wait until like a friend of a friend's aunt's cousin buys it on DVD, and then go watch it with them, so you don't have to waste your own money. Or until it comes out on Netflix. I don't know.
Or watch something else.
Something else, yeah.
Or just, watch anything else.
You can watch Twilight and it'll probably be still... Actually, I just want to call you out on that. I'd rather watch Twilight than watch that Transformers film.
That's fine. Twilight still sucks.
It sucks, but it just doesn't suck as hard.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot to say, though. It doesn't suck as hard. Because at least with Twilight, like, it's fucking nonsense and everything, all the acting shit and all that, but you, like, have a good laugh at how shit it is.
Yeah.
This film, it's like...
I can laugh at Twilight. I can't laugh at this.
You can't laugh at this because it's
really
it's not even, like, funny bad. It's just genuinely...
It's painful.
Yeah, like...
You come out with a headache.
Yeah, you get a bit of a... your brain goes dead. Because there's nothing... Like, there's nothing shitty to point out that's like, oh, in Twilight, everything's, like, very dramatized and, like, crazy. Like, oh, my God, over the top. So you laugh at it and you're like, oh, this is stupid. Whereas in this film, you're genuinely like... I actually don't know what the fuck is going on right now. Why the fuck am I here? I'm only 30 minutes in. There's another 2 hours to go. Like,
I'd rather watch Batman v Superman.
Yeah, like, I would rather watch that. Because I'd rather watch Suicide Squad than watch this film.
Yeah, I'd rather watch both those.
Yeah.
They were good, but better than this.
Yeah, like, this just had nothing. There was nothing. There was
Suicide
no
Squad
hope
sucked,
for this.
There was a plot somewhere.
Yeah, there was just no hope for this film. Like, there was, I was trying, like, I like to cling on to, like, maybe the good parts. Like, the film itself might be shit, but maybe there was, like, that one nice part that I might have, like, made it okay.
Yeah.
No, there was just nothing. There was not, like I said, that one line, maybe that Vivian delivered somewhere across the middle where I kind of go, it's funny, guys, get it? It's funny.
Yep. Well, I think that's pretty much all we can say about that. It was really bad. I'm
really
done
bad.
with it.
Let's do some other films.
Yep. Looks like it'll be Spider-Man next time.
Spider-Man. When's the Foreigner coming out?
Don't know.
I really want to see that. I also really want to
good.
see... When's what's it call it? I've been talking about this film for ages. Kingsman.
October, is it?
September? Yeah.
October. It's one of those.
I want to see it.
one of those. Looks great.
And I saw we saw the trailer for not Infinity Wars, Thor
Ragnarok. Everybody's seen that though.
That's true. But
that's coming
the fact
out in
that's
October
coming
too,
out,
isn't it?
yeah, they're all coming.
Yeah,
Winter's
Spider-Man
coming.
first. Oh yeah,
I'm so
Game of Thrones out next month.
Oh god, I still haven't caught up.
Why
to
can't
that.
you just marathon that for ages? And
I freaking
catch up?
work. Got to work.
I know, but you know,
Ren, if I watch Game of Thrones, if I start, I'll literally I have to call in sick the next day because I'm like,
Yeah,
God, I
that's
have
fine.
to finish the rest
That's
of the
good.
season.
just pick a couple of days where you don't really have to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
And just watch everything, all of it. Anyway, we'll leave it there.
We'll leave it there. I think that's enough roasting for now.
Enough. It's enough Michael
I
Bay
think-
based
yeah, I
roasting.
think
he's
if-
endured enough.
Nah.
I don't hate him, but
Yeah, you do.
I do hate his movies. I don't actually hate all his movies. The Rock's not bad.
There's I swear he probably started off okay.
Armageddon's terrible, and Pearl Harbor sucks. The Rock's good
Why is he famous?
because he made all these big. He's actually he was really good at directing commercials.
What?
Which is why his films have such blatant product placement in all of them. And yeah, now he's big time. You know what's really bad? The credits on this, it's like Steven Spielberg produced. And I went, come on.
Oh, you're better
Don't put
than
your name
that.
on that, man.
I know.
Anyway.
We'll
Yes.
see you on
Spider-Man
2
next
weeks.
time,
Yes,
probably.
in 2 weeks, possibly.
In 2 weeks, we shall talk about Spider-Man and Iron Man.
Hopefully, it won't disappoint me.
I hope it's good. It looks
Yeah.
good. I hope it's good.
All right, we're
Okay.
signing off.
Signing off.
Bye.
Here. Goodbye.